Hello, my Astro fam. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be back doing full and new moon videos, breaking down these cosmic weather events. And today we're talking about the full moon in Pisces. And this is a really dreamy, mystical, magical full moon to feel at the end of August. And we're going to dive into all of that today. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Mandy Rose. I'm a relational astrologer, which essentially just means that I take the lens of astrology and use it to help you have better relationships with the people around you because you understand how the cosmic weather is impacting them. You give them some grace and patience. And you also understand yourself better by understanding your birth chart and why your cosmic blueprint is the way that it is. So in my videos, as I talk about the astrology, I reference all the planets as a life coach because I truly think they're like life coaches to us, teaching us and guiding us in this soul existence here on Earth. And my new and full moon videos, I break down the energy. I help you understand what all the planets are up to in the sky. And most importantly, at the end of the videos for new and full moons, I always give you some rituals or activities that you can do around these lunations so that you can maximize and work with this energy. So we're going to start out with the basics so you know when this lunation is happening. This full moon in Pisces is happening on August 30th at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you adjust that for your time zone. It's happening at 7 degrees of Pisces. So I'm going to pull up the chart here and you're going to see the sun is in Virgo at 7 degrees and the moon directly opposite in Pisces also at 7 degrees. When the sun and the moon are opposite in the sky, that is what creates a full moon. You're going to want to find Pisces in your chart and Virgo. Here are the two symbols and look to see around 7 degrees if you have any planets there. If you do, this lunation is going to impact you the most. Now, every single year, we're going to have a full moon in Pisces. This full moon is all about that Pisces energy, right? The moon is highlighted in the sky. We can see it clearly. And what is the energy of Pisces? Well, Pisces is a water element. So it's about emotions and compassion. It's about forgiveness. It's about moving through things in your life. It's the last and final zodiac sign. So it rules endings and completions and shifting and getting ready to change and begin something new. Remembering that full moons are about releasing and letting go of things that are blocking us because we can see them clearly. When the moon is full in the sky, we can see everything in our path. Pisces is represented by the fish. And so it's two fish swimming around, which means that we're moving, we're adaptable, we're flexible, we're willing to go with the flow once and for all. So when we're talking about a full moon in Pisces, the sun is in Virgo. It's Virgo season. We're feeling like we want to analyze and organize and be detailed and perfect things and stimulate our minds and all those Virgo things. But the moon at this time is saying, hey, you can do all of that, but let's do it with flow. Let's do it with ease. Let's do it in a way that allows us to end things and move forward in a new way. So it's a beautiful energy that we're going to be feeling. So before we get into all the specifics and what are all the planets up to, I want to give you some fun facts that makes this specific full moon in 2023 unique. First things first, every time we have a full moon in Pisces, it's on the axis of Virgo and Pisces. We just mentioned that. I pulled it up in the chart, sun in Virgo, moon in Pisces. This axis in astrology is the opposite forces of Virgo being the physical body, our day-to-day life, our physical reality, what you do when you wake up, what kind of food do you eat, what supplements do you take, what is your work-life balance. Virgo is the physical body and our physical life. Pisces is our energetic body and our spiritual body and our mental body. So it's kind of like those intangible things. It's your thought process. It's your subconscious. It's your auras and your chakras. It's your meditation practice. It's your spiritual beliefs. It's that energetic vessel. So every time we have a full moon in Pisces, we're literally balancing between our physical reality and our energetic reality. And so it's a really cool kind of thing that we're learning to mind and body connection every time we have a full moon in Pisces. You might be feeling that towards the end of August, moving into September. The second fun fact about this full moon is that it heavily, heavily involves Saturn. So there's some major Saturn lessons to learn, and we're going to go go into that when we start talking about the specific planets, but just know that Saturn is the planet of responsibility, of commitment, of making sure that we're doing the things that we need to do and taking accountability for where we're at in our life. And since it's with the moon is our emotions, right? It's like that perception, that feeling of, I know I should do this. And this is like really frustrating in my life. And I'm going to take accountability and I'm going to change it instead of waiting for other people to change it. So there's a lot of Saturn lessons going on around the time of this full moon. And third and final fun fact about this full moon in 2023 happening in Pisces is that it's occurring during a heavy, heavy retrograde season. So as we have this full moon in Pisces, we're going to have 7 planets actively retrograde all at this time. And retrogrades are periods of reflection, redoing, reanalyzing, reassessing, recommitting. Anything with the word re is what we're doing during retrogrades. And so at this time, we have Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Uranus retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Jupiter's about to go retrograde, Chiron retrograde, Venus retrograde, and Mercury retrograde. So essentially around this full moon, we really need to go inwards. We need to reflect. We need to be still. We need to be quiet. We need to go into meditation. We need to regather our energy and realign with what we really desire so that we can release and let go and we can start new, because Pisces is the final energy, the final sign. So it's like the release of the release of the release, but we need to know what to release so we're not releasing the wrong things, right? Sometimes we get scared to get rid of things because we're afraid, what if I need it, right? We don't want to declutter because we're like, oh my gosh, what if I could use that for a rainy day? Maybe I don't want to cut this person out of my life because it could get better, right? So this full moon is going to have us going inwards to get really clear on the things that we want to release once and for all and what's truly not going to serve us in the next chapter. But we can only do that in stillness and silence. So those are some fun facts, the overlying energy that we're going to be experiencing. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart, and I want to give you some specifics. So again, I mentioned the sun in Virgo at 7 degrees, the moon opposite 7 degrees of Pisces, and good old Saturn right next door to the moon at 3 degrees going retrograde back to the beginning of Pisces. If you caught my Saturn retrograde video, which if you haven't, go back, it's going to be very, very important because those themes are going to be highlighted at this time. Saturn is going back to the beginning of Pisces, back to zero and starting over again. And we're supposed to be learning about our spiritual and energetic body, getting back into a spiritual practice, protecting our energy, our auras, our chakras, all of those things. So it's going to be very vital at this time to take accountability, to take responsibility. When Saturn's retrograde, he's Lord Karma, and whatever we do during his retrograde, he's going to reward or punish us when he comes out of retrograde in November. So this full moon is going to highlight it. Why do I use the word highlight? Well, what happens to the moon when it's full? The sun opposite in the sky is highlighting it, making it fully illuminated. And Saturn's right next door, right? If the moon's at 7 degrees and Saturn's at 3 degrees of Pisces, they're within 4 degrees, a very minor distance from us here on Earth apart. And so Saturn's also being stimulated and highlighted by the sun. The sun shines a spotlight. It reflects. It's like, hey, pay attention to this, right? It's like a microscope on Saturn saying, we really got to take accountability. When you put the moon, which is our emotions, next to Saturn, who's like our tough love dad, that's like saying, why are you crying? It's your fault. Why are you crying? You can change it. Why are you angry at that person? Maybe you need to make a different decision. So this is going to be an emotional full moon where we're going to have to take full radical responsibility for the way that we feel. It's no one else's fault. It's our own fault. And it's in Pisces. So that affects our energy. Dealing with Virgo, where the sun is, that's our physical body. Maybe if we change our own emotions and the way in which we're taking accountability, we're going to feel better. We're going to raise our vibration. We're going to change our energy of our aura and our chakras, and then our physical body can start healing. So we're in a season of healing, of up-leveling, of changing things, and Virgo wants to perfect it and make things better. Now, what else is going on in the sky? You know, with every new and full moon, we always talk about the ruler of that lunation, and the ruler is Jupiter and Neptune. There are 2 planets that rule Pisces, and Neptune is also in Pisces, so we can see Neptune's at home here. He's retrograde. Neptune brings a sense of like delusion, dreaminess, haziness, fogginess, not being able to see it clearly. but he's retrograde at this time. So we're seeing things in the light of day, the way they need to be seen. And that's going to help us bring clarity to whatever we're stuck in and whatever we need to declutter or edit out at this time. And since there's so much energy in Pisces, it's really about like trusting our intuition of what needs to go and what can stay, what is good for you, right? Virgo rules the gut and gut instincts, and Pisces rules that like spiny sense, intuitive sense, that like sixth sense. So there's just a lot of energy right now about knowing in your own soul what is right for you, what is in alignment, and what do you need to release at this full moon. So pay attention and listen to that. There might also be some health issues that are highlighted at this time. Like I said, Virgo rules the physical body and Saturn wants you to take responsibility. So just be really careful at this time if things are popping up that you need to deal with them. Don't be Neptunian. Don't be hazy, dreamy, foggy, play victim. Like just get on it and do the things that you need to do. Jupiter, on the other hand, the co-ruler, is over in Taurus, where he's about to go retrograde. He's at 15 degrees of Taurus, and he's parked there on August 30th when we have this full moon, and he's not going anywhere. The only place he's going is backwards, but not until September 4th. So Jupiter is slowing down. He's getting ready to reflect, and that impacts this energy that we're feeling because Jupiter brings blessings and abundance and expansion and growth and forward momentum. But when he goes backwards, all of that dries up. We got to work with what we got. And there's a heavy emphasis right now on gratitude. Pisces is all about being grateful. And Jupiter, as the ruler, is saying, hey, I'm not going to give you anything else. You got enough. You have everything you need. You don't need more. Let's work with what you got and worry about cutting out the things that are like not in alignment with your greatest good. And that's kind of the overlying theme or lesson that we need to be dealing with at this time. The only other two things I'm going to mention real quick is that Uranus just went retrograde 2 days before this full moon. So now we have this volatile, chaotic, unexpected, shocking, jolting, sudden changing Uranus going backwards. So there might be some things that you thought you did right, decisions you thought you made, things that you wanted to keep or wanted to let go of. And now you might have like a shocking revelation of like, oh my God, I need to get rid of that. Why did I think I wanted to keep it? You know, there just might be some sudden unexpected things going on with Uranus kind of actively going retrograde at this time. We can also see here in the chart that Venus, who's been retrograde since July, is about to end her retrograde. She's at the tail end of it. She will come out of retrograde just 3 days after this full moon. So as the moon starts getting smaller in the sky and we're releasing and we're letting go, Venus is going to come out of retrograde, and Venus is about our relationships and what we love. Being in Leo, what brings us pleasure, what brings us joy. When she comes out of retrograde on September 3rd, we're going to start moving forward. We're going to implement, and we're not going to take anything or accept anything in our life that doesn't bring us happiness, joy, that inner child, just loving, amazing energy. So just know that whatever you're releasing at this time, we're going to move forward and bring more of the good as we let go of the things that don't serve. So that'll be a really beautiful energy to experience. And that's pretty much the overlying theme of this full moon. I'm excited for it. Just be still, be meditative, allow yourself to release the things, get super, in touch with your own intuition so you know exactly what to let go of. But it's going to come with that Virgo, like I want to perfect things. I want to make my life better. I want to improve things. I want to organize and analyze and take care of my health and rearrange my whole house and declutter. And that's the season that we're going to be in for the entire month of Virgo season. So this moon is just going to help us release and let go of the things that we're ready to finally declutter. So with that, I'm going to leave you with some rituals and activities you can do around the time of this lunation to maximize this energy. So first thing I would do around the time of this new moon is get really clear with what you need to take responsibility on, right? Like what have you been slacking on? What have you been brushing under the rug? Is it your health? Is it your finances? Is it a conversation in your relationships? Is it maybe, cleaning out the weeds in your yard? Like maybe you've literally been sweeping all the dust under the rug and you need to pick up the rug and clean it up, So look in your life of what you've been avoiding responsibility on, what you don't enjoy doing, and just get it done. Saturn's heavily involved. We don't want to play victim. We don't want to ignore things. The sun is highlighting Saturn. This happens once a year. So it's like a mid-year check-in. It's just a big time that happens once a year where the sun highlights and spotlights Saturn from across the sky saying, hey, let's look at our responsibilities and do the things that we're supposed to do that our tough love dad asks us to do. So first things first, take responsibility, do the things you need to do. Second thing is meditation, stillness, clarity, 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 clarity. If you need to journal, if you want to go get a card reading, if you want to sit outside and meditate, if you want to do a walk in the woods, like whatever you need to do to go inwards and be quiet, be still, get really solid in yourself. The energy around this time is going to be totally potent and help you with that. So if you're someone that's like can't sit still, you're going to be able to a little bit easier. So just work with that energy. And the third and final thing I would do around the time of this lunation is be near water. Water, 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 drink water, eat foods with hydration like watermelon and cucumber and popsicles, go for a swim in the water, take a saltwater bath. Pisces is the fish and it loves water and it allows us to be in our flow and it allows us to be in our feminine and it allows us to tap into our creativity. So just perfect time. It's going into Labor Day weekend. Go to the pool, go to the beach, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you stay hydrated and be near water. It's going to help you flow with this energy and you might get some ahas or some intuitive downloads. So just pay attention to that. So just remember this full moon is happening around Labor Day weekend. You might be around a bunch of people, you might be out and about, but just pay attention to what do you need to cut out of your life? What doesn't feel right? What doesn't bring you joy anymore? As we're shifting and changing and about to go into eclipse season, our life is going to adjust and shift in ways that we can't even expect yet. So we just got to get clear with what we don't want. And the universe is going to bring us more of what we do want. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know in the comments below. If you're needing more help or guidance, I am back, like I said, from my vacation. So my readings are open again. You can check my calendar, book a slot. We can do a 30-minute session if you have quick questions or want to talk about a specific thing. Lots of people are doing mid-year check-ins as we're already halfway through the year. So we'll just kind of talk about what's coming up for you the rest of the year with the eclipses and the retrogrades. If you want to learn more about the retrogrades and what lessons you're supposed to be learning through all 8 of these planets' retrogrades, you can purchase my retrograde workshop. I linked it in the description box below. It is a self-paced workshop where you're going to go through each chapter one by one, talking about each planet, each life coach, what lesson they're trying to teach us. And I'm going to show you you're going to have your own birth chart. I'm going to show you how to find where that is in your chart and what area of your life it's impacting and what lesson you're specifically supposed to be learning. It's essentially like doing a reading with me, but you're going to learn it for yourself. And I feel like sometimes when you learn your own chart, you get more out of it. So I priced it very fairly. I hope you get to enjoy it. Go ahead and download it below. And don't forget to fill out your journal prompts for the full moon in Pisces in your retrograde astrology journal. And there's also some more ritual ideas and ways that you can work with the full moon in here as well. So make sure you check that out. If you don't have a copy, you can also buy it in the description box below. And with that, I'm going to send you so much love and light. And I hope you navigate this full moon in Pisces with ease. And I will catch you in the next video.